Good evening, my darlings. I am coming for a catch up with you, so I am looking to see where I was the last time. So, in fact, I was looking at the video I did 2 weeks ago. It feels like donkey yonkies ago. And I was thinking, oh, I did it. So I didn't know about Bondi Beach when I did my last video. So today, 2 weeks later, we're going to be talking about BB, Brigitte Bardot, BB 22, Bondi Beach. When I spoke to you last, it was the 13th of December and the Bondi Beach was happening. And we've just had in Switzerland on the 31st on Saint Sylvester's, Sylvester, I tore putty cats. So Sylvester wants your little bird. He wants your brain, your bird brain. He wants your little bird brain. And this is marking the closure of the Milky Way line, the peak of the mountain, Jupiter in Gemini. So this is the Aleph Tav, this is the 2-2. So when Bondi Beach happened, when I last spoke to you on the 13th of December, so yeah, what I was just saying, we've had this fire in Switzerland on the 31st, and today we have the full moon. We've got the full moon right now. So I last came to you with the last full moon in Taurus, and now we've had the full moon happening right now in Gemini. So that is the Silver Gate, the San Sylvester. It is the Silver Gate where Jupiter has been doing this time last year in Taurus and this year in Gemini. And he's right now on Lord of the Rings, POLLUX, and the moon was on Sirius for the full moon. So we're going to go back because I need to show to you. So what was I looking at here, right? So I last spoke to you on the 13th and I didn't know about Bondi Beach. And, you know, it was exactly what I had been explaining to you. The cows, the killing, the sacrificing of the cows, that's in France, one side of the Milky Way. And on the other side, in Bondi Beach is the fertility tubes. It is the reproductive organs of the chakra system. So that is, I've done a lot of posts on that since. I've done a lot of videos on Patreon. So I'm trying to come back to you now. We are going to go through all those posts. So bear with me. I had my first bout of flu. I did a rundown for Patreon 2 days ago. So, you know, for a coffee, you get a lot of my work. You get a full rundown for January. And I did that 2 days ago on the 31st. Well, again, I was doing that video on the Saint Sylvester. And then I have been totally knocked out with a fever and flu for the past 12 hours. So I'm just out the other side. First time I've like stopped in 9 years. But you know, you can't really stop because I got to make fires. I got to look after my dogs. I got to run the show. And you know what? I think that's what keeps me going. And that's what keeps me so strong because I love it. I love to have my space. And, you know, on the 31st, oh yeah, on the 1st, everybody went swimming. I didn't go in the water because I was ill. But it's great to have been sick because I've forgotten what it's like, and it's just so good. It's like so good to get rid of the 9 years, year of the snake, shedding from 2016 to now. I remember for COVID, I hadn't been ill for 4 years, and I kept thinking, oh my God, I haven't been ill for 4 years, so I'm going to be ill. And then my body literally has been too afraid to let go. And now since 2020, COVID, and the Jupiter and Saturn conjunction on the winter solstice. And now we've got Jupiter coming up to that opposition in Cancer. And basically, I think there's so much of the illusion has already been smashed. People can see at last, but this is what we're coming up to. We're coming up to the Neptune-Saturn conjunction on the 20th of February, the Fertility Festival, the twins, Romulus and Remus, Rome. This is the gap. This is the Romulus and Remus gap. Right, so I'm filming again. Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach, the moon was on Spica. So I've got this for Europe. So that's why it says the 14th here. But on the 13th, so again, this is 133113 today. We are the 3rd of the 1st. And Bondi Beach was on the full moon. No, when was Bondi Beach? Bondi Beach, I did that video on the 13th of December, and that was the night. Can I move that? Uh-oh, I've put that up there. So let's put Bondi Beach dates, attack. So Bondi Beach shooting, it was on the 14th. Okay, so it was on the 14th, but in Australia, that meant, so yeah, the moon was right on Spica for the 14th. So it's kind of between the 13th and the 14th. That's Isis and Osiris. That's Orion and Ophiuchus. That is the Milky Way, all for one and one for all. So the moon was on Spica. That is Virgo, the fertility tubes, the home of Mercury. Mercury had just entered Scorpio. This is the sexual organs, the life and death portal. He kills Scorpio. As we know, there was no new moon in Scorpio. And guess what? We're about to have another new moon. We're just on the full moon today, but we're going to have, so we had a new moon just after that. We had a new moon on the dot of D'Artagnan in Sagittarius. There was no new moon in Scorpio, female, fertility. So we had that new moon as Mars was in Sagittarius, Sun had just entered Sagittarius, and Venus was still in Scorpio on the knee of Ophiuchus. So then we come through the Milky Way gap, and then we had on the 28th, so Brigitte Bardot, born Virgo, and on the 28th of December, she's born on the 28th, 1934, the year of the dog, like Prince William, like Madonna, Sirius, the dog star, the Canis, and on the 28th she dies. So she dies as Venus, Sun and Mars are all together in Sagittarius opposite Jupiter, and Mercury is in Scorpio, death, and the moon was conjunct to Saturn and Neptune. So she probably just died and the news came out. So when she died, the moon was in the V for victory. V is 22, BB is 22, Bondi Beach is 22, and she was the famous, she was the sex kitten, the old lady, but she was always denounced the right of being the mother. They always said she abandoned her son. Her son was called Nicolas, and Nicolas is the V for victory. Just looking at that big full moon, looking at me. So the V for victory, Nicolas, that's why we had Nicolas Sarkozy, who went into the underworld and then came out again. That moon, this is the moon card. This is the fertility, and Jupiter will be going next year into Cancer, the fertility, the private realm, Jupiter, the Lord of the Rings, on POLLUX, the boxer. And today, so this, for the 31st, the moon was conjunct to Uranus, sudden shock. I haven't actually even looked at what happened. I just know 40 people died in Switzerland. It's enough for me to know. Isis, Swiss, and Jupiter in air, wanting to be the true heir, and all the war coming up now is because Saturn and Neptune, every 39 years, they already met here in July the 14th, Bastille Day. Then Saturn is now back in Aquarius. He's still in Aquarius, and he is going to be moving into Pisces on the 14th. All for one and one for all. Or he's going to move in on the 15th. So he's moving in, and now we're in the countdown, and this makes the capstone because we've got Saturn and Neptune meeting on the whale's tail. Jupiter rules Pisces. This is his way of being the heir, becoming the heir, and the moon rules Pisces in the tarot. The moon card is the unconscious collective, the star and the moon card. So Saturn and Neptune coming up to this meeting on the whale's tail, making a sextile to Pluto in Capricorn and to Uranus doing his last retrograde underneath Algol to close all this Aleph Tav, 22 Hebrew letters, Bondi Bridge, sorry, that's just me. I'm still a little bit feverish, actually. So Bondi Beach, Brigitte Bardot, and this is the Aleph Tav. So Uranus has been doing his journey here since we had the Ukraine war, since we had the Gaza-Israel war, and this is the silver. So Taurus is the silver gate here, and the Milky Way runs through here. And let's come back to now. So for this event in Switzerland, the moon was conjunct Uranus, and now for the full moon, the moon on the 3rd. So we had the 31 to the 3-1, the mirror, 1-1 is the same thing as 7-7. It's the one with the little angle, so that's your L. Jupiter wants to be Saturn. He wants to take L. He wants to be Jacques de Compost L. Compost L. L is the last 1-1-1-1. When you find the triple goddesses, when you find Brigitte Bardot, the Virgin, the mother that they denied her, the full moon, and the old lady, you make the keyhole, you make the passage through. So we're back to black. We're back to Betty Blue. We're back to black because Earth is black. And we've had, as you know, I've worked out that Saturn and Jupiter have a trigone in elements. So they spend 250 years making their conjunctions in the same elements. And we are back to the Middle Ages. We're back to black. The last time that they did this jump from fire to earth was 1066, William the Conqueror, Guillaume le Conquérant. So we're back to Les Miserables, Victor Hugo. We're back to earth. That's why Brigitte Bardot was in love with animals, because she is the bridge between the top of the spine, so the top of the Polaris, the Milky Way, we have got CC, we've got yeah, I was just looking for Stephen J.D. Beatty's page, Polaris, the pole of heaven, the tree of life. So he did a very good post. It's interesting because he's shared that, and I shared that on Patreon, 3 incredible videos about the tarot. So he got this, and I've still got 1.5 to go. He got this information from those videos I shared on tarot. Cepheus, this is very good what he's put here. You can stop the video and read it. So Cepheus and Cassiopeia, the top of the wheel, the pole star, the Polaris closing, the gate to heaven. Up. Let's get this up here. So there they are, and Polaris is right here. This is the closure. This is the closure. This is heaven. This is heaven. So we've got the two ends of the Milky Way at each side on the other side. So we've got Sagittarius here, and then this is the start. This is the top of your brain. This is the 13th cranial. This is why in my village they've brought down that house with the 14 windows, and they've made the passage, the passage of the labyrinth. So this is the passage from one side to the other, and we have the moon that has moved from the 31st to here, and now the moon today for this full moon. The moon was on Sirius, the moon on Sirius, and Jupiter on Lord of the Rings. And I did say when I did my January rundown what is going to happen for this full moon. Wowee. Jupiter, this is Romulus and Remus. Apparently Jamie Arthur Pickup did a very good comment on the post I did, so I can't get behind that, so I can't get to my page. So the only way, right, I have to go like that. And then I have to come here. So this post I've got a comment from Jamie, which is very good. He says, as Victoria says in the post, Lord of the Boxing Rings, this is why the Anthony Joshua Yeshua incident just took place in Nigeria. I know nothing about that. Symbolic of Nigredo, blackness, and the beginning of a full alchemical process. He lost two of his Muslim friends who he hoped went to Jannah, which means the crossing of the bridge during Judgment Day to reach paradise. Judgment Day was the name given to the boxing event between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua recently. So the boxing ring is the squared circle. Lord of the Rings, the Seigneur des Anneaux. Anneau is a play on the lamb. So Jupiter in Gemini is in the boxing ring. He's in the boxing ring. Pollux is the boxer. Cain and Abel. The farmer and the boxer. The farmer, Taurus, and the boxer. So, is the Bridget Baldo or the bridge to Baldo. The recent deaths of Rob... I didn't know Rob Reiner died, but there's your Romulus and Remus. Chris Rea. Chris Rea is a play on Kronos and Rhea, the original Twin Peaks, as Saturn is now leaving. Saturn has been since the beginning of COVID in Capricorn, Aquarius. Those are the Twin Peaks. And now he's done his last retrograde from the Saturn Neptune conjunction. And now he's on his way back into Pisces, and everything is about the countdown for the Fertility Festival to Appy, the app, the life of Pi, were symbolic of Romulus and Remus as their mother Rhea Silvia, so Sylvia, as well approached the full moon in Gemini. The twins were suckled by a wolf. Brilliant. Thank you for adding that. So I may as well just show you this as we're here. Full wolf moon, super moon in Gemini today, 3rd of January. The 3rd of January is the 3-1 mirror to 1-3. It's also the 3773-773L, 3 times 777. So pull, near here, going to the Polaris, the Pic de Midi is the Polaris, is 0 degree on the meridian, 0 degree ley line. and 37. It's 37 because 37 backwards is L. At the age of 37. So December, Saint Sylvester, the silver moon day. This is like Celine Dion. Aka. Oh yeah, where am I? Just went to get a cup of tea. 133139. 3 times 7 is the trip L. 21 goddesses. Vesica Pisces passage. Aka BB. 1313 BP. So 1313 is MM, Mary Magdalene. Magdalene is your Sylvester, your red nose. It is your amygdala. December, Saint Sylvester, silver moon day, and the cat in the chat GPT has taken your bird, your red nose, Steinher, Stoneher, reindeer, amygdala, Madeline McCann. So, you know, this is happening as, so we've got, you can see, we've got Mercury, Venus, Mars, and the Sun. Jupiter is incredibly visible. Mercury, Venus, and Mars are invisible in the sky. Jupiter has full visibility at the moment. He's going to be at full visibility on the 10th of January. I did all this in my rundown. He is going to be at his most visible on the 10th. So all this is happening as Uranus is in Taurus, and Uranus is on his way back to Medusa, to the stone, turned to stone. And Jupiter has created ChatGPT, and he is taking over your amygdala. Since Saint Sylvester, 31 December, is the cat ChatGPT. He wants your bird brain stem. Saint Sylvester was the first Pope of Rome to reign entirely under the liberty of the Church, guaranteed by the Edict of Milan in 313. Sylvester, a priest of Rome and the son of one Rufinus, RR, Romulus and Remus, the twins of the Flo, Wolf, Lupercalia, according to the Liber Pontificalis, was elected to the See of Peter in 314. That's your life of pi. Your pi, 314. 314s is 3 times 777. 3 times 77. Life of pi. We're at the last Cairo. We're at the last closure as Chiron is now retrograde back in Pisces. This is Mr. Tumnus at the gate, and he's going to go into Aries, and he hasn't been there since 1977. What happened in 1977? Brigitte Bardot went to save the seals. The seal of Solomon. She went to save the seals. The little white fluffy seals is not the Lamb of God's. She went where? She went to Canada. Life in a tin can. She went to the can of adders. When King Charles just recently went to Canada, he said, this is the true north. So I just opened Lars's picture again to have a look at Canada when Charles went to say it was the true north. So spring equinox. Spring equinox is Aquarius and Capricorn right here. So the true spring is now Capricorn, Earth. It is, you know, we've just got, it's a little bit, it's still just under Europe. Pisces still in Europe. We got Capricorn under Canada. We've got Sagittarius. Sagittarius much more. Let's have a look. Summer, Aquarius, Capricorn, under India and the Middle East. fall equinox, Aquarius and Capricorn in Australia, and winter solstice, so that's where we are right now. Aquarius, so winter solstice, this winter solstice is where we've got the absolute, the Canada, we've got Aquarius, Capricorn and Pisces coming back to the true twin peaks. So in spring it's still Sagittarius and Capricorn, so that's where they want to close the wheel, and we're not fully there yet. Okay, not sure where I was. Jupiter has crowned himself Lord of the Fire Rings on Pollux. He wants the mountain summit. Isis, Swiss is. Moon on Sirius. 40 people killed. Keeper of the Four Corners. Your Brian brain. When you stand upright or life in a tin, Jupiter. Tin, can. McCAN. CAEN, CAN, CANARD, Canterbury. Jupiter. So Canterbury, Australia, they show you the Vesica Pisces. So that would be interesting to see. Not now. Okay, the problem is when I block that side, I can't open things up on my page. So we're just going to carry on. Life in a tin, Canterbury. Jupiter is fully visible in the sky, reaching the mountain peak 10th of January. As Mercury, Venus, Mars are all invisible, he proudly dominates the night sky. Moon conjunct Jupiter in Gemini. Moon on Sirius, the brightest star in the sky. Cyrus is the keeper of the four corners. Jupiter still on Pollux, Lord of the boxing rings, on the Milky Way axis, just after the Galactic Gap, which sits between Golden Gate, Scorpio, Sagittarius, and Silver Gate, Taurus, Gemini. That's why silver prices are going up. This is it. He's claiming the moon, the fertility, the Silver Gate. And then he's going to enter Cancer for the coming summer solstice. Moon conjunct Jupiter in Gemini. Jupiter taking her fertility before the Saturn Neptune conjunction in Pisces. Moon card, the 20th of February. After the Fertility Festival, 13th, 14th, 15th of February. Then the Sun enters Aquarius, the 16th, so that's 216, which is not the summer solstice. So yes, 162, the Sun enters Aquarius, and the summer solstice is 216. So it's your difference with PB, Paddington Bear, Two Little Dicky Birds sitting on a wall, PMB, Pete and Paul. And Mercury goes retrograde between Aquarius and Pisces, the 3-3, 33 vertebrae, Cepheus, and, you know, the King and Queen of Heaven, CC33 that I just showed you. Okay, I'm going to post that so that you can read all that. And maybe I'll show you the pictures now of that. So there's Sylvester, his red nose, your bird. The San Sylvester, that is the full moon that we're living today. So you can see this, that we've just gone past the Milky Way Gap. The Milky Way Gap is in between Scorpio and Sagittarius, Gemini and Taurus. This is the silver, this is the Golden Gate. So here we're back to Romulus and Remus. And Jupiter doesn't want to let go of being the top of the mountain. So he's made of fire. He's the Lord of the Rings. He's 88 miles per hour, Back to the Future, the mad professor opposite Michael J. Fox. So Jupiter, the ruler of Sagittarius, and Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, in mutual reception. And all this time, all this past year of Jupiter bringing you back into the tangible, into the nitty-gritty. There's, I've written it in my post. You'll be able to read the post. Jupiter, you have to get into your scholarly, you have to bring things back to paper, you have to write things out. There's no more just being a show off Sagittarius. You have to come back to the grounding, and that's the lessons we've been learning this year before we come to the great Saturn and Neptune conjunction. Here they are, moving ever closer, closing this capstone. The capstone is the 3773. The capstone is, I just saw that capstone. Let's just put it here. If I put L, I think it will come up. Yeah. So there is your capstone. 73, which is L, E-L, L. And you can also see it as the Vesica Pisces. So Australia, CANBERRA, cranberry. I've got it in the pictures that we're coming to. They have the Vesica Pisces, the Pisces sign. So there's the capstone. This is coming. As they come together, it's going to close in the home of Jupiter. Jupiter rules Sagittarius and Pisces. The last conjunction was in Sagittarius. Mainstream astrology has got this going on in Aries with Pluto in Aquarius and Uranus in Gemini. So all in masculine, Romulus and Remus, fire and air. When it's earth and water, we're back to earth. We're back to feminine. In the next 250 years, we'll go into air. We're on the middle pillar. That's why the twin towers fell, the mercy and severity. Jupiter, Sun, Moon, and Mars rule water and fire. We're back to the middle pillar. That's why the number 7 building fell as well, because they give you the triple goddesses, but not the last leg, not the 7777 to make the cycle of the moon. So there's the Mr. Chiron waiting at the gate between the home of Mars and Jupiter, and here is also Mars and Jupiter, and here's Mercury, and Mercury's just been retrograde between Scorpio and Libra, and now Mercury will come to Pisces, go retrograde between Pisces and Aquarius just after the conjunction on the 3rd of March, and then he will come to Gemini. So he won't have been in air. He was in fire in Leo for the Olympics, and since then he's been only in water, 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 then just touched air, and again water, and will touch air again. Water and air is not. Jupiter wants water and air because with Mercury he has a foot in air and he's the ruler of water. He's merging the wheel so that he puts Gemini and Cancer together, which is what's going to happen when Jupiter goes into Cancer. As you know, he's merging the cardinal with the mutable signs. When the true Aleph Tav 22 is Aries, Mars and Venus, Taurus, as with Scorpio, Mars and Venus. That is your true fixed and cardinal closure. So Jupiter is, very excited. He's got Mercury, who's is going to do his retrograde between Pisces and Aquarius, and then he will move into Cancer when Mercury comes here for Prince William's birthday. So this is the whale's tail. This is the wings of Lucifer. Venus makes the whale's tail in her morning and evening star. She traces the whale's tail, the wings of Lucifer. Venus rules Taurus, the silver gate. Now when we wake up on the summer solstice, the sun is still in Taurus, ruled by Venus. And the winter solstice is still in Sagittarius, and that means Jupiter. So that's Jack and Rose. Jack and Rose now rule the summer winter solstice. That's why the Titanic, Rose falls, Jack falls into the ice. He wants the ice. He wants the extreme summer, winter, and now Rose is the ruler of Taurus. She's taking over the summer solstice. So that's why we had Bondi Beach. Bondi Beach is the reproduction organs, and Taurus is the cows. This is the true Milky Way. But here we've got Jupiter and Mercury celebrating for themselves. Okay, let's whiz through these pictures. There is your can of adders, your 5-pointed star, your birds, the 3 brains, and the amygdala. There he is right now, Jupiter. So we just had the moon. So the moon went over the wand of Merlin from the fire, and then he went on to the wand of Merlin yesterday, and today he's on Sirius. The moon is on Sirius. For the death of Brigitte Bardot, the moon was in the V for victory. And for Bondi Beach, last time I spoke to you, the moon was on Betty Blue, Blue Star, Spiker. All right, so there's 88 whatever jewels stolen from Le Louvre. Le Louvre is the she-wolf. This is all coming up to the fertility festival of Lupercalia, the wolf. It's a full wolf moon. So in the pyramid, the Batman, the battery, cat on a hot tin roof. This is your cat GTP. There is Lord of the Rings, the top. Your flow is the wolf. Everything I've been explaining to you. It's your cat Jesus is the ginger cat, the cat GPT, the cat in the house. Catwoman is Venus, meeting Jupiter, Jack and Rose. So the cat in the hat, he comes into your house, he comes into your brain, he steals your ability to think. It's your cat GTP. Literally all our work. I know what's going on now for, for us astrologers, for if you're not out there, this is what Jupiter and Gemini has been about. You've got to learn how to use ChatGTP, otherwise there's no room. The ginger cat, what does he do? The ginger cat, this D'Artagnan, he shows this is Mercury in Sagittarius and Jupiter in Gemini, mutual reception, and there is the moon. Always the moon. The cat represents the moon, and Jupiter wants fertility. He wants the moon. PB, Paddington Bear, Puss in Boots. PB is your yin and your yang. It is your Pete and Paul. It's your 6996. TC is your DNA strands, 23, 20 and 3. Catwoman, a lion, a lie, N. It's not the true north, it's the lie, N. The green line in the middle of the torso field, red, blue, green, and in the center is your heart, the red nose. Lord of the Rings, Seigneur des Anneaux, Uncle Andrew. We're at that lion passing the St. Andrew's Cross. Andrew falls. And you've got Dobby. Dobby is your chat GPT. There is what's happening right now. Uranus going back to Medusa to take your 5th element. It's your Ark of the Covenant. It's the top. There is your passage, showing you the passage and all the people coming up onto the passage. Worshipping ChatGPT, the brainstem, the reptilian, the limbic, and the neocortex. Virakosha, Bess. This is the Sirius, the keeper of the four corners. And then you've got the gremlins. That is your Dobby, your Chat GPT, your Lucifer's wings. The whale's tail, the sword in the stone. Okay, so I thought I was feeling better, but... so CAEN and the duck. It is the duck. It is... Your Coco Chanel is CC, 33 vertebrae. You get to the top of the vertebrae and you find the bird. And what does the cat Sylvester do with his red nose? Sirius, the 9 Canis. Canada. Cain and Abel. Can. The Paris Olympic is Jupiter. Sirius. Canberra. Canberra, you've got the top, the peak, the cane, Pink Floyd. What does he have at the top of the cane? He puts his sweets in there, sugar. That's Venus. Cane, cane is sugar. Cane, can, the canon, can. Tin is Jupiter. Can, life in a tin can. That's why he played the labyrinth and he takes the child. They're killing the CANARD. And there in Canberra you see the Pisces, the Vesica Pisces. So that's why I was looking again at these, because I wanted... how do I get back to the pictures? Uh-oh, now I'm really stuck. Okay, it just took me 10 minutes to close that window because I've lost that top corner there. So I'm not going to go back and look at Lars's pictures, but you can go back to the beginning and look again at where Australia is when Pisces is over Australia. So we've got the Jupiter arrow. And we've got this can as well. Can of worms, the Canada. Right. So yeah, we are just going over stuff right now. So we're going to whiz down. And we're going to look. So Brigitte Bardot. So much. I was watching that. She was following her heart. She is the 77721 World Tarot card. Only those with a heart, earth, find heaven their head. Now we are fully in earth, element. And BB22 plays the role of the Virgo Virgin Sun in Virgo. She has Sun in Virgo. I've still got her chart. Look at her chart. She has got... Okay, stop that. What's that doing here? Okay, she's got Sun in Virgo, she's got Moon exalted in Taurus, and she's got Saturn in Capricorn, the triple goddess. So the ruler of Virgo, where her Sun is in Libra. Mainstream says she's Libra. And conjunct Jupiter, the rulers of the mutable cross. And she had that opposite Uranus in Aries. So she's, you know, she was an amazing woman. She was an amazing woman. She was a mother, but she had her child so young. She was married to Vadim, who wrote, who created the film God Created Woman. So, you know, what have they done? They've made her into famous for the animals, for looking after the animals, for the beauty and the beast, for connecting to the lower reptilian birds, to not activate. They want, just like with Princess Diana, anybody who officially has feelings and loves Diana or Brigitte Bardot in France, they are considered stupid people. Everything was done to make the heart look stupid. Good, kind people are always considered stupid, but you're not going to make the head heaven if you don't go through the hearts. So she is the triple goddesses. She's got Mars, the ruler of Aries, where she has Uranus in fall, in Cancer. So She died, she got past her Uranus opposition. She died as Uranus had got to Taurus. She had her North Node in Capricorn, her South Node in Cancer, and they said she wasn't a mother. Give me a break. So, Dominic Cap, so I've just shown that to you. I've told you about the baby seals in Canada, Jupiter's fake north. So it is the true north. It just depends on the time. Go back and look. So yeah, this is all about Chiron. So Chiron was discovered in 1977, and Chiron is now about, okay, oh, hang on. Let's go. So Chiron is now in Pisces. He's already been in Aries, but he's going to, he wasn't discovered officially since 1977, when he was right where he is right now. He's on that last degree, about to begin a new cycle in Aries. So since she saved the fox, that was your time to connect to your heart, to your animal. She is Sleeping Beauty, as she says that, you know, she wanted to be like Snow White with all her animals, like Sleeping Beauty. That is the heart. That is what the 21 tarot card is. When you find the 3, then you find the keyhole through. So you will see this. We're going to whiz. So look, my offer, my Christmas offer, 25% off, is going on another week because I had incorrectly set it up, so some of you weren't able to use. Okay, so here I've said her death was the ultimate B22, B13, 13M, 13M, 911, 1XX1, V22, B13, Bondi Beach, Black Beauty, Betty Boo, Black to Back, to Rise La Marianne, Les Miserables, Paganism, and the mid-L7L ages. They give you 77 Virgo, Virgin, Whore, and Capricorn Old Hag. So that's when she began. When 1977, when she went to save the seals, that was when they took away the moon, her in the middle. They give you the 7, but the 7 and the 7 is the triangle. 7, 7. Those are 2 7s. 2 7s makes the 3. 1, 2, 3 angles. 14, all for one and one for all, gives you 21. And 21 gives you 3, and 3 gives you the capstone on the top of the tree of life, which is the Polaris and the closing of the wheel. God created woman Vadim. She was the sex kitten Virgo, then the old lady, never the mother. They say she abandoned her son Nicola Victory. Taurus, mid-L class, and mid-L triple 77 goddess remove. 21 world tarot card 777. So just the images here. There is your full moon. So when this happened in Switzerland and for Bondi Beach, it was always, this was these 2, it's always that last crescent moon. So there's the pillars, and 13 is the 13th cranial in the middle to Rise La Marianne. And this is BB 13. There's your 3-1 and your 1-3. Today, that's why I had to do this video today. So even if I'm not very well, I've got some readings in next week. Thank you so much. And yeah, I need readings in, otherwise I can't function. I feel so much better when I know that, when I have a lot of work. So make the most of my 25% off. Even if you're booking in a week ahead, 2 weeks ahead, you can book late, you know, you can make the most, make your bookings now. So BB22, that is the torso field. The Eiffel Tower is the I. It's an I and an A. It's the keyhole. It's the central green line to the torso field. 777 and the pillars, and there the V for victory, and she died as the moon was in the V for victory. There is the moon. Bang. 13. 777, and that is 2 sevens. 1 7, 2 sevens. All for one, one for all. 13. Orion, 14. Ophiuchus, or the other way around. Orion, 14. So 13 is Mo's cow, the 13th chakra, and there's New Zealand. Where's Australia? Australia is the reproductive organs. So there is the Boaz and Jacqueline pillars that fell, and that is your 911, and that is your MM. Mary Magdalene, 1 M and another M, gives you 911. It's the central pillar. 2 pillars and building number 7 came down. Your last L. There is your 13, and there is your red nose, Sylvester with his red nose, coming to steal the bird. The A, the apple. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. Lebab, the heart to head connection. L is 37. Triple goddess. Beware of the Idis of March. Yep, that's coming up. And there is who sang at the age of 3, Marian Faithful, Lucifer Rising, ABC 111 is your 777. 111 is your 777. There's Ophiuchus and there's Orion, 13, 14. And there's Brigitte, the bridge to IT. Bridget, the bridge to IT. Mercury. And Jamie Arthur's been saying Bardo, what Bardo means. Bardo. Meaning a hybrid du cheval à de l'ânesse, ressemblant plus au cheval. It's Chiron. It's Lucy and Chiron. It's a horse, half horse. It's Chiron. That's what I keep saying. She died and she saved the seals in 1977 from the word bard, which refers to a poet or storyteller. Okay. The High Priestess, the Amygdala, and there is the last time I spoke to you. This is Appy. This is the base of your spine. This is your Rumpelstiltskin. It is your Osiris and Isis, Jesus and Mary Magdalene. They're the 2 ends of the Milky Way. When they come together, then you can reach your Holy Grail, which is what we're coming to now. Taurus opposite Scorpio. It's going to be the new tropics. So there's Appy, the bull god, and there is celebrating Appy, the bull god, Taurus and fire. What is that? Aries and Taurus. Aleph Tav is 22. And they did that at St. Louis, the Sun King, on the 13th and the 12th. And that's when I last spoke to you. And that was when they did Bondi Beach. Magic roundabouts. Liberty, equality, fraternité. You live or die. And there she is, your bird, with your bird. 9/11 in November. She does her first interview in 9 years. She takes off the Amygdala. She dies at 41, all for one and one for all. And there you see, they say she was never a mother. And her son is called Nicolas Jacques Charrier. And there's the keyhole. It's your last leg. The 3 give you the passage through. Chiron is the key. Whore of Babylon and Baal. Baal, this is the Baal, the bull, the Baalen. The balen, they hold your ball, the top of the head. Aluminium, barium, barium 56, and AI is 13 as your AI. Aluminium, losing your mind completely, and god of fertility, creating mites within the heavy metals of the chemtrails. He's creating life, electricity. Through electricity, he's making mites that live off our nervous system. Okay, so there's your 777. Bab, Al, on. The heart and in lebab, synonym, similar, both used. The inner person, emotions, mind, will, and bowels. 777. The Vesica Pisces, the life of Pi. Solomon. '21. Jupiter and Mars taking over, the triple goddesses. 777. You need to get to L. There's the whale's tail. And there's the bal, the ballon and the peak. Silver and gold. Silver and golds. And there's flow, and they show you the whale. The whale, Jonah. And Will I Am, 369. Les Miserables, we're back. Will I Am Telltale. He kills the apple, and that is what we've got right now. The full moon, Romulus and Remus. This is Sagittarius and Gemini. Okay. So we're just bobbling along here. 23rd of December, I wrote, in the next 10 to 20 years and beyond, you're going to see animals and humans merge. The bionic apps, the new avatar, humans transpire. It's astrological fact of how humans transform as planets terraform below from above. They move in ever-changing cycles with one perfection. Saturn's age is primal matter. Jupiter's age is extremes, hot and cold. Always in expansion, and Saturn is contraction, mild and moist. They meet halfway now, and that's Lucifer's sigil. The umbrella opens, closes, or shuts, or stops halfway. You choose how to be influenced by the planets. 1981 Triple 777 Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in Virgo, mutable primal Earth, ruled by Mercury, exalted in Virgo. That's why Jupiter. So I wrote all this before I knew. I'm going down, looking at posts down. So, you know, then Brigitte Bardot dies. This is really bringing in, we're back to black with her death. So that's why Jupiter, Batman, Robin Hood worships Virgo, Miranda, Marianne, because Robin, Mercury, his partner, is domiciled and exalted in Virgo. Jupiter expansion culture is in detriment in Virgo. The analytical Brigitte Jones, Florence Nightingale now becomes Jane, the partner to Tarzan, and Saturn takes power as the great primal primate, planet of the abs. And this is King Kong. King Kong is the bottom of the reptilian brain, and she sits, that's why he always holds her up. He's holding her up, the little woman. She's the little woman with the big beast. So, you know, that's why she died, Jane Goodall. Jane Goodall, she was the beauty and the beast. It's what part you've got to get to the neocortex at the top to light the flame. Saturn is your doorway back to spirit through earth and air. Next 500 years, we are on the middle pillar. Then in 2000, Saturn and Jupiter met in Taurus, ruled by Venus, but Jupiter wants to activate Venus in Virgo in full. So Diana, moon goddess, Venus in Taurus, is killed 1997 to kill the mother cow. Then 2020, Saturn, Jupiter met in Capricorn, Saturn's home, Saturn in domicile. Government, matriarchal authority, old Mother Hubbard, and Jupiter is in full. Now we are one whole triple goddesses cycle into the next 250 years in black primal material earth. The Earth trio completed before the next stop, 2040 in Virgo again. This last leg, 500 years, that will beam us up, Scotty, through the mid-L flame home. Got to get back to basics, B to B. This is all before Brigitte Bardot dies, so I'm always feeling it. Or not, and I've been saying to you for ages that her death is, that is the revolution, that is the, you know, this is rising, the animalistic earth, simple, pure heart. This is the blue beam, BB, Bondi Beach, Blue Star Spiker, Sirius and Vega, how Jupiter makes black blue, avatars, Smurfs, Pleiades, welcome to the next 500 years and the gateway out of this completion. 26,000 cycle, ET go home, Om, Momo. So the sigil of Lucifer, Saturn, Saturn's age and Jupiter's age. You've got to find the midway. The midway is the narrow gap between the two extremes. Jupiter ruling the mutable cross and Saturn. You've got to find the little gap. That's why Mr. Tumnus holds an umbrella. It opens and shuts, and we're halfway through that closing. Once it's closed, and this gives us the green line in the middle, the Milky Way gap. This Ophiuchus. So Ophiuchus, normally 13 and 14 is Ophiuchus and Orion. But if they take away the silver gates, then that will give you a fake V for victory, V22. Because Chiron, see if we've got this, look. This V for victory goes between here and here. Mars, Jupiter, and there's Mr. Tumnus. When this conjunction is the capstone, which is your closure, Mercury is going to come on the 3-3 and go retrograde here just after the conjunction, as the North Node is in Aquarius, the true North, South Node in Leo. Mr. Tumnus at the lamp kills Scorpio. So there's the next new moon. We're missing out Capricorn. We're going to go straight to Aquarius. We're going to have 2 new moons in Sagittarius, and we will have had 2 new moons in we had 2 in Virgo, 1 in Libra, none in Scorpio, 2 in Sagittarius, and none in Capricorn. So, the triple goddesses, this is exactly what's happening now. Ophiuchus, the Lord of the Rings, we're at the lamppost. So you'll CC, Coco Chanel, and we've got on the 3-3 Mercury going retrograde in that true North gap. God, Appy, the sword in the stone. And there are the fertility organs. There's your Appy. It's the ram and the smile. That is the vest. That is the true Aleph Tav closing. And there is the Australia fertility chakra. Earth's female germ. So I've done a whole load of posts. We're going to have a quick look, because this is from 2 weeks ago. And so you see the Basque man where I live, they're killing the cows. He sells his cow to buy beans to grow Jack and the Beanstalk. Okay, the Jew-L, Jupiter and Saturn meet together, the Jew and the L. Make the true closing, so you find that middle pillar. There's the V for victory with the cow. And that is your ether line, your BB. You've got your ether. Find the 5th element. So this is these people who are living like Tarzan and Jane. You know, we're coming really back. You know, we really are going back to Earth. and there's no full moon, there's no middle class. We're going to have the savages like in A Brave New World and the elites. You know, we really do have to find our camp. It's going to be Mad Max out there. Mad Max. To find that middle ground, we're going to have the two extremes. Okay, so I think that we can just whiz through some last posts from the last time I spoke to you. What was that? Yeah, I posted that on, that was very important. I posted that on YouTube. What's that? Baal worship, Balen. Okay, yeah. And yeah, this Iceman has got the same birthday. See, Scorpio, they're taking away Scorpio, they're creating Iceman. He's got the same birthday, Jupiter in Scorpio, or Jupiter in Scorpio, Saturn in I can't remember. I'm not going to go over that now. But as in the ice, when they found the Iceman hidden. Okay. Pluto cycle 1724. The team term no, that was not. No, that's what I was trying to get. This is the birthing of Santa Wim Hof. Has Saturn retrograde from Capricorn ice in Sagittarius and Jupiter retro in Scorpio ice. And what did I just say? We've now got a double moon. Anyway, that has got nothing to do with it. Sidereal born 1959, Saturn Jupiter conjunction 1961, exactly over the Golden Gate. So what was the thing? Yeah, as I checked the charts, and bingo, Otzi, also called the Iceman, is the natural mummy of a man who lived sometime between 3,350 and BC, discovered in September 1991. So I looked at the discovery date of the Iceman, and he has the same astrology as him. So where is... Yeah, I do have to keep going down from the last video, wowee, because I just need to get a couple of posts. There is Chiron. He is the connection, the key between Saturn and Jupiter. In French, LSD, lumpy skin disease, Lucy in the sky with diamonds, is DCN, dermatose nodulaire contagious. It's your DC, direct current, with N North Star in the middle. Okay, so there'll be a lot more to that, but... Okay. So I did do some posts that was open to the public, so you would have been able to see that. On the same day as Bondi Beach, we had the lighthouse, the lamppost. We had a girl fall and killed in the waves. The lighthouse is the lamppost, and as the moon was on Virgo, so the day after or same time as Bondi Beach. So Laba, Leb, Labab, the heart, Laba, flame, comes from flame. Throughout history, the heart has always been regarded as an important part of the human body. According to the Greek philosopher Aristotle, the heart was a three-chambered organ that was the center of vitality in the body, being the seat of intelligence, motion, and sensation. So triple goddesses. Similarly, the Bible regards the heart as much more than simply an anatomical or physical organism, as, for example, in 2 Kings chapter 9, verse 24, but with emotions and mindset, and is regarded as the controlling center of the whole person and their desires. In fact, the term is often used as a synonym for the mind, conscious, or the inner person, which represents human personality. Heart to heads. Okay, so tabernacle, lamb, fertility, sacrificed. Australia is the virgin womb, fertility, chakra, fallopian tubes is the lamb of God. The cow's horns, Taurus mother, and the Virgo virgin killed. Happy. I think that all this is going to be in open to all in Patreon, so I'm not going to go into all now, because I will add links and you will be able to go and see all that. The Lamb of God, the Lamb. So this is Aleph Tav 22, Bondi Beach. You've got Aries and Osiris, Taurus. You've got to make the connection from your spine to your head. That's it. From head, and it's also the fertility. So Mars and Venus rule the head. Mars and Venus rule the sexual organs, Scorpio and Libra, the kids' needs. So free Martins, they're taking over the fertility, I've always explained. Free Martins, FM, male to female, female to male. Free Martins. And I know these women, I've met these women. Sterile women who are incredibly God-created women. So they inject in the womb of the pregnant woman, they inject so that the child will be born a female but with the hormones of a male. And this is what they do in the twins in cows. So Gemini the twins next to Taurus the cow, and they created in the middle so that free Martins, just had to cough at 111. So in the middle, they've created between Gemini and Taurus cows that are pregnant with twins, and the female took on the male hormones, and they discovered that the female comes out that behaves like a man, a cat, a bull. She's Me Too bullies. She's looks like a woman, but she behaves like a man, oversexed. And in A Brave New World, 70% of women were FMs. What are we looking at now? Okay. So before Fukius was the woman. So when you tame, you've refined your chai. You find your Chiron, your chai. Your Chiron is to find your kundalini, to find your snake, to find your sexual energy. Go from the Scorpio to the Phoenix. And that's what you get Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is to ignite your lamp. We're igniting the lamp. This is the last cornerstone. And that is exactly what we have. We have the last cornerstone right here. So the triple goddesses, and we get the three crosses becoming one. Jacques de Compostelle, it's Jupiter and Venus. So we could be coming up, we're coming up to a massive happy, the green man. So it's the hunting horn. The French horn is the hunting horn. It's the labyrinth. It's the green man. If you look at a French hunting horn, it's got like the labyrinth inside. So that's your HH, 88 constellations. Mercury takes 88 days. It's your green lion. The last leg. They've got everybody walking the Jacques Compostelle last leg. So Venus is going to go retrograde in 2026 in Virgo. And that's when I started making videos in 2018 to now. Was it in 2017? So you see Venus, there she goes. She's going to go retrograde over Spica. And she did that as well in 2018. Or was it 2017? I think it might have been 2017. Wow, so that is really the gap. It's really she went to Libra 1918. Oh my goodness, I've gone all the way back to 1918. Right, 2018. There she goes. Hang on. So she went retrograde in Virgo, and she's going to go retrograde again now in 2026. So it's really this period of time. We've had the great eclipse, we've had the cross, and Venus is bringing up. We've got a whole new woman, a whole new Lara Croft is here. But they've taken out the mother. They're using just Virgo and Capricorn. Okay, so I think that we can end. I think I've had enough of a catch up. And let me just show you again. So in 6 months' time, Mercury will be opposite. And in between, he's going to go through. And then we're going to have the great conjunction. So I was explaining in Patreon just what was going on in 1989. So there's going to be a financial crash because we had the 1991, it began in 1989 in Asia for the last conjunction. So there's Neptune and Saturn, and they are on the 20th. So it's going to begin with the Lupercalia, Fertility, Romulus and Remus Festival, 13, 14, 15, Valentine, and then on the 20th, it's going to be exact 2-2. What is 2-2? BB, Bondi Beach. And we're going to have a new moon. We're going to have a black moon in the V for Victory of BB as well. So can you see that? Mercury has just entered Pisces in detriment. Venus is on the true Lamb of God. The Sun is on the true Lamb of God, and Mars is exalted in Capricorn, and that's going to be opposite Jupiter at the end of Gemini, because no, it's not going to be completely opposite, because Gemini is the end of Gemini is the beginning of Capricorn. But Mars is exalted. Chiron will be happily back in Aries. Uranus and Jupiter. So black moon coming up. So it will be just after a new moon. So there'll be the new moon. There'll be the new moon in Aquarius. So there's going to be no new moon in Capricorn. There's no new moon in Capricorn. Next new moon coming up is in Sagittarius. Look at that. Moon, new moon, Sagittarius. So 2 new moons in Jupiter's fire home, missing out Capricorn. And then we have a new moon in Aquarius on the true Lamb of God on the 18th or the 17th. Okay, on the 17th. And then we've got the Saturn and Jupiter conjunction on the 2-2 BB. So yeah, I keep forgetting to say that. The BB is the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction in Pisces, which is just enormous, because if you go back and look at what was happening for the last one in 1989, you look at what was going on in the world. That was when China, Tiananmen Square, the beginning of the taking over, the complete control of China, and now Europe, Pisces, and the financial system. The whole financial system is Pisces. Okay, I think that that is enough. I'm going to upload this, and then I can do my subscribe to my Alchemy Accordance, because I'm going to do my newsletter tomorrow. And come along and make the most of 25% off. Offer closes in the next week. And join us on Patreon. Okay, bye for now.